Your word sets my heart free. In your arms I find my peace. Guided by your gentle hand.
Good morning, friends, and Happy New Year. I'm filming this right before the New Year, but it will be New Year's by the time you see this. So welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with me for, I guess it's been since April. So over half a year I have been trying YouTube and having fun, really trying to figure it all out, teaching myself, editing, all that stuff. So, but if you're new here, my name is Melissa. Welcome. I thought I would do something a little different. While I'm sitting here, I'm getting ready. I just have my water and I'm making my hot tea, kombucha, I think is how you say that. That's the tea I'm drinking. It's supposed to supply antioxidants to support overall health. And I'm going to put a little bit of honey in it because if you've been around, you know that I am struggling with my voice, which is a struggle for sure because I like to talk and I love to sing, and I have not really been able to sing. And I've been singing since I was probably 5, 6 years old, standing in church beside my mom on the piano, and used to travel and sing, and now I sing in church, but I haven't really been able to do that because my voice is just, one day it's here, and if you, like I said, if you've seen any of my previous videos toward the end of this last year, you will know that it would come, it would go, you know, but yeah, so I figured I would make myself a hot tea and drink my hot tea, put some honey in my system. I have an appointment here this morning, but I got up, got my shower, got ready. The house is a wreck with things laying around and really needs deep cleaned, but I'll get to that later. I have a little bit of a time, you know, I'm a little bit of a time crunch, but I thought that would be good for me because then I wouldn't ramble. So I just wanted to open up, and if my voice cracks and I squeak, you know, if it comes and goes, I apologize in advance. It's not something I can control right now. I don't know what's going on. So let me take a drink of my hot tea. Maybe that will help to soothe my throat a little bit and help me get through this. But I've just been really, to jump right in on it, I've really been thinking a lot about, you know, the end of the year, you know, if you're seeing this, then the Lord has willed it and we've made it to 2025. If you're not, then, or if, well, let's see, if he's come back, then I won't be here. This will be just a pre-recorded thing because I plan on going with him. But if you're seeing this, and if the Lord's willed it, we have made it to 2025. And so, you know, everybody does that self-reflecting that we do at the end of the year. We sit, we think. I've got a mess all over my glasses. We sit and let me get something to clean them off. Okay, so with the magic of editing, you didn't see me walk over there. But, you know, everybody at the end of the year, we think about, you know, the number one thing, people make those New Year's resolutions. And, you know, I would say top on that list of the majority of the people, I've not done any research on this, but I would venture to say that it is to get healthy and lose weight. Those combined together would be what I think that they, people would naturally put at the top priority of their list. Gym equipment gets sold, you know, like crazy. Gym memberships probably pick up, I'm sure, you know, all those things. I have a gym membership, and to be honest, that's one of the things I have said. If I'm going to have it, I'm going to use it this year. So, because I did use it, last year, but then I slacked off, and I want to be more intentional. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've just really been thinking about questions to ask myself. Things that I need to do self-reflecting on. And so I thought I would make a video and just share with you my 10, 12, I've got 2 extras at the bottom that I've written down after I wrote down my 10. But, and they're in particular order. They're not like one's higher priority. It's just how my mind was flowing at the time when I wrote them all down. And so I thought I would just do a video and share with you some 10 questions I'm asking myself. And maybe encourage you to do the same in this new year. To do some self-reflection. And so my questions are going to be different for myself than what your questions would be probably for you. My answers are going to be different than what your answers are probably going to be. Some of my questions I don't have answers for yet. I haven't written down any answers to anything as of yet, because it's going to be personal for myself as far as the answering of the questions. But I thought I would share this to hopefully encourage you to really do some self-reflection and really think about what are some questions I could ask myself this year so that I could improve on. I don't think we're ever too old to learn new things, to try new things, to push ourselves. I think that I don't ever want to become, I will be 40, hold on, let me stop and think. I'll be 47 this year. And if I'm wrong, I'll add that on the screen. I always forget how old I am. It's terrible. But, and in this last year, I have started trying new things. Henceforth, YouTube. Teaching myself things, breaking out of my comfort zone. And I will be, the end of this month, I'm saying this month because you're watching this in January, at the end of this month, I will be starting back at college again. And hopefully, Lord willing, I will be graduating in the fall of 2025. So, I heard a squeak. I needed another drink. But, pause. Okay, I'm back again. My throat is just, But, so Lord willing, I will be graduating in the end of 2025. So, I've started trying new things. Trying to push myself past my comfort zone. Which has been very, 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 extremely hard for me. Yeah. Let me just get into some of my questions because I feel like if I start too much, I'm going to get ahead of myself, and I don't want to do that. My number one question for myself, like I said, your questions could be different, but these are ones that I wrote down for self-reflection for myself. So I'm just trying to encourage you to do the same for you. But now, my first question was, who am I? Who am I? For me, personally, I have been struggling so much with that lately. I've struggled with it a lot through my life, and I don't let on to people. My intermediate family knows, my husband and my children, and my closest friends, Jason and Candy. Other than that, I don't tell people. I don't tell my parents. I don't tell my brother. I just don't share a lot of this stuff with people. I tell God. I talk to him about it. But who am I? I've been struggling with a lot lately because, like I mentioned in the beginning, I used to sing, travel and sing, and I've sang all my life. And if I go to visit any church, That's what I'm known for. I mean, and I do not say that boasting and bragging in any way, shape, or form. Please don't misunderstand me, because I know I'm not no Carrie Underwood or, all these awesome singers out there. I'm not. But it was what I was known for. And it was the one thing in life that, not that I felt like I was great or magnificent or whatever, but it was the one thing in life I did have confidence in. And I'm not going to cry. My daughter tells me I cry too much. And I do. Maybe I need to work on that and add that as a self-reflection. But it was the one thing that I knew I could do. And I knew how to do it. I know how to listen to music. I know when I'm off. I know, all those things. And so lately, over the end of last year, and being hit again with this in my voice is, I don't know, it's caused me to do some self-reflection. It's like, okay, if God takes my voice away, who am I? What am I good for? Those are questions I'm asking myself. So maybe you are in a place in life where, maybe you're struggling with that for some other reason. Maybe not your voice, but maybe some other reason. And if you are, I would encourage you, let's try to figure out, because that's not all that God made me to be. I know that. That's not all that He expected me to ever do. So I just have to figure out what the other things are. So, and with doing so, as long as there's breath in me, I'm going to keep sharing my faith, sharing who God is to me, who Jesus Christ is to me, and doing my best to love on people and be what He's called me to be, and trying to figure out what that is. So that would be my number one question. Who am I? And so I think it'd be a good question for all of us to ask ourselves. I mean, that could be a universal question, I think. My second question, moving on. What are my goals this year? Everybody puts goals. We all, like I said, we do I plan on doing it. I want to lose some pounds, not for the fact of how I want to look good or whatever. No. As I mentioned, I'll be 47 this year. And, so I'm getting closer to 50. And bad health, different things run in my family. My mom has had 2 knee replacement surgeries. She has battled with her weight. My dad has bad back. I have bad back, so there are things that, as we get older, they happen to us. Sometimes they might not be in your family at all. It just might happen to you. Just say it. I started having some borderline blood pressure issues. Not high, just like, what do they call it? Like hypertension, So I had to be put on some blood pressure medicine. I would love to get myself off of that. So losing some pounds would help that. I know that. I try to stay very active. You've seen it. If you've watched videos in the past, you've seen we go play pickleball when weather breaks. Boy, I'll be glad when weather breaks we can get back out there and do it again. We have a lot of fun. And so I try to stay active with my family, my kids. And so, yeah, what are your goals? What are some things that you want for this year? I'm kind of scanning over my questions because I don't want to get ahead of myself. What are my goals for after I graduate? Do I have plans for that? Am I going to do anything with that? I mean, I'll be able to submit that to my county and can make a little bit more money because I have a degree being a bus driver. But I don't know how much more money that's going to give me. I don't even know. But I love my job. So do I want to quit my job? No. If I'm right at this moment when I'm filming this, I would say no. It's all subject to change. I don't know. I don't know what God's plans are. But at this very moment, no, I don't plan on quitting my job. But like, what am I going to do with that stuff? What are my goals for YouTube? That's a big one for me right now since I've started on this. It's like, you know, when I first started it, it's a hobby. And it is a hobby. It's definitely a hobby. And I'm trying to teach myself new skills. That's still the same. But, and I didn't really care if the numbers grew. I think where I'm at right now is like a little over 300, which is, it's amazing. That's amazing. But, you know, and I really wasn't bothered about like if it grew or if it didn't, whatever. But at the same time, you know, doing self-reflection, it's like, no, I need to have a little bit better mindset toward it. Like, try. Can I get it to grow? By just being me and doing what I do? Do I need to change my niche? Do I need to tweak things up a bit? What do I need to do? What's my goals? So those are just some things that I've been like asking myself, thinking about, you know. I mean, because there's like 1,000 other people on there that do cleaning videos and different things and motivational stuff like that. It's all great. I can do those. I got to clean every day. So, but what is it that's unique toward me? My people that I watch are, I watch a lot of different ages, you know, but I'm out of that. Like I said, Lord, I'm reminding myself constantly, I'm getting older. But I'm going to be 47, so I'm not in that age bracket when my kids were little. And I look back and I think, man, I wish I was doing this back then because I could have had some serious content, you know. Okay, my voice is, so if I can, I don't want to get rid of that stuff on here. So, but yeah, so my age range that people I watch, or I watch younger people that have smaller kids, whatever. I think it just brings back that nostalgia of remembering when. But for me, I'm not in that season of life anymore. I'm just not there. I'm in that season of life where I'm trying to get one kid kind of motivated. I'm trying to help my other one who seems to be motivated and she's, you know, doing lots of things, but trying to help guide her, and, you know, she's got to find her own path and direction. But at the same time, both of them are going to be leaving soon. So then mama's got to figure out what mama's going to do. And so I'm in that phase of life where I'm feeling kind of, I want my babies to grow up. And for those of you, I know a lot of my age range that watches me are, you know, my age and older. And so you've probably been there. You've been past my stage where I'm at. So if you have any tips or pointers or encouragement statements to give me, leave them in the comments below, because this mama needs them. I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie, I'm struggling with this. I want them to go. I'm trying to push my son to get him to go, but at the same time, it bothers me because I don't want to push them out the door, and, you know, but I want them to fly. I want them, that's what they were raised to do, and, you know, so it's just that. If you've been there, let me know. Tell me what to do and pray for me because I need it. But next question, question number 3. What do I want to change and improve on this year? Kind of touched on that. I want to improve on my YouTube channel. I want to improve on my health and you know, my weight and different things. Just self-reflection. Just this whole thing is really kind of answering that. Spiritually, there's work to be done. Question number 4. This is a deep one. And this is one that's answers are going to be different for me them for you if you use any of these same questions, especially the one before. What has kept me from my goals and improvements in my past? That one's huge. Because I have, I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not doing it. Take another drink of my tea. I have, I guess you would say, childhood trauma. I had I have great parents, I have great family, but everybody's got stuff in their past. Everybody's got, I guess some people would say little skeletons in their closet, or I wouldn't say it's skeletons. No. It's just stuff that was like said, or, and it shapes you. It doesn't necessarily shape into who you will be, but it will scar you. Let me just say that. Because you can choose to let something ruin your life, or you can choose to let something, be like, it's not going to ruin me. I'm still going to rise above it. But the scars that are there, the thoughts that are there, those are hard to get rid of. And it's only by the grace of God that I've made it this far in life with a lot of, just lack of encouragement, lack of support. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. So yeah, anyway, my answers to some of these questions, like I said, they're going to be different. So I need to figure out what those things are. And then what can I do about them? Like, how can I overcome that? So, number one, I commune with Jesus. And so I talk to him. He is my strength when I am weak. He is my joy when I don't feel joy. So yeah, my answers are going to be different. And some of these, I still don't have all the answers for. I still am struggling with, and pondering on this stuff. But these are things I want to be thinking of this year. Okay, number 5, my vision for my YouTube channel. I've already jumped ahead and talked about that a little bit, because I want to be more intentional with, my thought process, my demographic of who I'm reaching. I don't understand the whole YouTube thing, the algorithms, people I've watched the YouTube videos where they try to teach you, and it's over my head. I don't understand it. I just know you got to have lots of people watching it. You got to have lots of people hitting that like button. You got to have lots of people commenting. That's about the gist of what I know. And I don't have that. And I'm okay with that. If it never happens, it doesn't bother me. But do I want to try to improve? And yeah, I do. And so I got to find, where's my niche? Because I got to remember where I'm at in life. And I think that's been my biggest key. Although I do like to have fun with my kids, I like to stay active. And so all that will still be in there. But, the cleaning, none of that's going to change. I mean, I don't care how old I got, I still got to clean. So that's going to be there. And number 6, how can I be a better? Why did I say it like that? How can I be a better Christian? A better wife? A better mother? And a better friend? I think everybody's answers are going to be different to that one too. Everybody's in different seasons of life, different types of friendships, different types of relationships, different types of, so these are just self-reflecting questions I want to just encourage you to maybe ask yourself. You may not have these, but make your own, you know. Number 7, what are some projects that I would like to accomplish this year? Looking back on my YouTube channel, you know, I'm able to look back and see some things that I accomplished last year. I did this wall here, and that wall was a nightmare, you know. I've redid the bathroom. You know, there's been things I've tweaked around the house or whatever that we've done. We got our patio concrete thing poured. Yeah, big or small, what are some projects I would like to do? Whether it's a craft or whatever, you know. What would I like to accomplish? Excuse me. So, number 8, where are some areas where I could be more intentional this year? Well, I've kind of already answered some of those too. With YouTube, I could be more intentional with planning. I could probably be more intentional with meal planning. My husband would probably agree. He would be like, yes, meal planning. I don't like to cook. I told y'all that from video 1. I don't like to cook. That still hasn't changed. But maybe I could be more intentional with maybe trying to find a recipe and then sharing a recipe I'm trying or something like that. I don't know. Let me know if that's something you'd want to see. And maybe it would encourage me and inspire me to maybe start to like cooking. You know, I said this last year and I failed. I started off good. I just didn't hit my goal of the books. But I said I wanted to read like a certain amount of books because I'm not a reader. I mean, I read the Bible and I will read certain books, but if it doesn't capture my interest within like the first 3-4 pages, you know, I'm not going to read it. Now, I like true stories. I know Doorstep, her brother, has a book. Let me go get that real quick. Okay, magic of editing. I'm back. Doorstep has a, it's Erica from Doorstep. I watch her channel. She's, I think, like a couple years older than me. But she's been on YouTube a whole lot longer than me, and she's way more skilled at it than I am. I love your channel. If I get lucky enough and you're watching this, Erica, I love your channel. But I wanted to just let people know that, you know, last year I'd said, you know, read X amount of books. Didn't reach my number that I wanted to do, but I did read. And so I want to do that again this year and try to push myself to read so that I can get better. And, you know, just setting goals to push yourself out of your comfort zone and I don't like reading. So that's not in my comfort zone, trying to push myself out of it. But I like true stories. And never, never, never quit. Don't get better, get better. And it's by Patrick Andrews Jr. This is his book. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. And you can go, I'm sure Doorstep, if you go to her channel, I'm sure she would have like a link or something, but you can find that on Amazon. That's where I found it. You can look on Amazon. I'll try to link it if I can. I'm still learning about that linking stuff. I don't know, but it's a really good book. He had he was involved in a really bad car crash. That's the back of the book. And he suffers with like traumatic brain injury. And so he's, you know, super nice guy. I met him and it was just awesome. My family laughed at me when I met him because you would have thought I was meeting a movie star. I was like so giddy. But I had been watching him and heard all about his story through Erica, and it was just, yeah, that was a fun day. That was a really fun day. Anyway, squirrel. So I want to read more. So that's where I want to be more intentional. You know, I read a book already. My son got me a book for Christmas. It's more like a questions and answers book by Melissa Doherty. I think that's how she says her name. But I read that book, and I read that one in a day. No, well, I started reading it that night of Christmas night, and I read like 2 or 3 chapters, and I finished it the next day. So I would say, a day. If you would have added those other few hours with that. So that's what I want to do. I want to be more intentional in that. I want to be more intentional with my time spent with my family, more intentional with how I treat friends, just all those things. So my answers, like I said, different than yours, but number 9, what is one thing new I can do this year? I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe actually set a goal and hit it. That would be new. Yeah, as far as anything else, I don't know yet. But, that's something I can try to figure out. Our friends and I, we've talked about going. I really hope we do this. God, I hope we do this. They've mentioned something about a cruise. If y'all are watching, I know they watch my channel. We need to do this. But I really hope we do, because that would be awesome. So much fun to go away with our BFFs on something that none of us have ever done before, a cruise. And I've always wanted to go on a cruise. I'm a little terrified, part of me, but, I'm excited too. So that would be one thing new if we did that this year. So that would be something new. But we'll see. I got to figure some of these answers out to some of these things. All right. Number 10. And it's not placed at number 10 because it was lowest on the totem pole. This actually would probably be first, but it's just the way I wrote things out. So understand, I did not write these out in order. I actually jotted them down on a piece of paper and then went back and just kind of wrote them off. So, but number 10, how can I share Christ more in my day-to-day life? People that know me, work with me, whatever, they know who I am, what I believe, what I stand for. But how could I share Christ more? I've always heard that the best testimony you can have is the life you live before people, which is true. It's true. But sometimes you have to also be open to actually share. Sometimes I think fear keeps us away from sharing. And because we might be scared that we don't, like our Sunday school teacher says a lot, we might be scared to not share because we think that they're going to ask a question that we don't know the answer to. But he's often told us that, don't be ashamed if you don't know the answer. Just tell them, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll look into it and get back to you. That also gives you time to go dig in yourself. So, yeah, that's just really thinking, how can I share more? What can I do? Is it through this? Is it through, without being, nobody wants to hear that person that's, browbeating people and thumping them, Bible thumpers. What I grew up, that's what they were called, Bible thumping people. And that just make people feel bad. Nobody wants to feel bad. We all know, we should know, we were all born in sin. I am just a nasty old dirty sinner that needed Jesus. And thank God, one day I truly found him. I was raised in a Christian home, but that didn't make me a Christian. I had to find him for myself. And so, same with you. You might have been raised in a Christian home, but that's not going to make you a Christian. It's not going to be what's going to get you in. You have to find him for yourself and build that relationship yourself. Don't go off of just what you've always done or just what, because Lord knows I have learned within the last 5-6 years. Gosh, it's been that long because we've lived here. Yeah. I have learned within that time that there's a lot of things that I thought one way and I'm just like, man, that was messed up. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And I don't think people were deliberately trying to teach me wrong. They did the best they could with what the knowledge that they had. Sadly, they didn't take the opportunity themselves to dig in and actually be like, well, I'm not going to take somebody at their word. I'm going to look into the word and figure it out myself. You know, try to find it, the answer myself of what God wants for me and what his word says about who he is. And so be more intentional in those areas. Be more intentional when I read my word of not looking for, that's a big one this year. I don't want to read my word and think, what can I get from this today? And be one of those people that's like, okay, I'm going to read this today. Blah, 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 blah. And, oh, how's that speak to? I don't want to do that. That's not the right way to read your Bible. I found that out over the last few years, and I found the right way to read it. And it's opening your word and asking God, pray before you open your word, and ask God to show you who he is through what you're studying. And the more we learn about who he is, the better we're going to understand who we are, because we're going to see how much we need him. And so yeah, that's something I want this year. Let me get my tea. My voice is, it's hanging in there though. I think it's hanging in there. So that was my 10 questions. I did write down 2 others, just as bonus questions for myself. There's probably like a million more questions I could ask myself, but this was just like a list that I kind of came up with. Bonus question number 1. What is my verse for the year? I want to figure out a Bible verse that I want to really study and try to find a verse that I can kind of like, it's going to be my verse this year. I think I know some, but I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, not that it's like, I'm going to study all the scriptures, don't get me wrong. But, you know, like pick a verse for the year that you're really going to focus on. Maybe it's like a verse that, you know, talks about, you know, maybe it's verses, maybe it's the Proverbs 31 woman that you want to become, you know, and you want to, I'm going to hone in on that, you know, whatever. But that's bonus question number 1. Bonus question number 2. Who can I mentor this year? I don't know. I mean, I have people in my life that I come in contact with every day. But when I say mentor, I mean like be that person that is, when trouble comes, they see Christ in you. And they're looking at you like, how'd they get through that? And those are ways that you can mentor by living it out in front of them. Being that person they want to come to talk to. Sharing what God's done for you. All those things. Being a friend. You know, JJ, for those of you who don't know, JJ was my daughter's friend who spent last summer with us. And she left to go be a missionary. She came back around December. When I'm filming this, she's back right now. She'll be leaving, I don't know, end of January, end of January, first part of February. She's supposed to be coming back. But then she'll be leaving, and she'll be gone for like 10 months or so. So, but anyway, she made a really sweet comment and said how we opened, and I never even really thought about it until after she said it. But she talked about how we opened our home, which was like, it's biblical, like to nurture people and treat people. They're strangers, but you know, and I didn't know her. She was just my daughter's friend. I didn't know who she was. She's quickly become my adopted little daughter. I love that little stinker to death. And it's going to kill my little heart when she leaves for 10 months. So, but, you know, who can I mentor? Who can I encourage? Who can I love on? Who can I share Christ with? Who can I just share me with? You know, as far as like, hanging out and just being a friend. So yeah, maybe that's someone in your family. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have answers to all these questions. These are just, there's a slew more of questions that I could ask myself. There's a lot on here I still need God's help trying to figure out answers to. How to be, I need to figure out, maybe this is a question, how can I figure out how to be more confident? Not cocky confident. Don't get me wrong. I don't like that. I don't want to be no cocky confident person. Not that. But just more, I have struggled with self-esteem issues all my life. And I still struggle with self-esteem issues. It's horrible. I try not to show it. I try not to share it. But I'm sharing it now, I guess. I try not to show it or share it. But I guess cat's out of the bag now, isn't it? And then shared it with all you. Yeah. I struggle. And I don't mean like in only looks. Like, yeah, I struggle with it there, but I don't mean just that. I just mean as in, there used to be this lady that, a friend of ours that we went to church with years ago, and I'll say this and to try to wrap this up. She was always a sweet, soft-spoken lady. I don't know, I admired her so much. Because I was like, God, I want to be more like that. Why can't you make me like that? Because I'm like loud, obnoxious. And, I shared with her one time. And I told her to her face, I was like, I have been praying for God to make me like you. Because I want to be like you. And, I don't know that she watches my channel. Her name is Wendy, but we called her Alex. But she told me, and it's never left me. I don't think it ever sunk in, but it's never left me. She told me, she said, but that's not the way God made you. He didn't make you like that. He didn't make you to be soft-spoken. Have a quiet voice and whatever. I'm like, yeah, but he made me obnoxious. She was like, no, and I don't know. She was just really sweet, and but it's still things that I struggle with, and so I don't care how old you are. We still struggle. Might have some things figured out, been there, done that, and been like, learned a lesson there, but there's always still room for growth. There's always still room for improvement, room for pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. You're seeing it right here, out of my comfort zone. So just to wrap this up, one thing I wrote on the bottom of my questions page are my thoughts for the year, my personal reflections, questions. I wrote a little note. It says, always remember, in all you do, reflect Christ. The biggest word, the biggest small word that is in that sentence is all. I have to remember that in all I do, in every area of my life. When it's trying a new recipe, when it's working, when it's dealing with family, when it's dealing with friends, when it's whatever. All I do has to reflect Christ. So, yeah. I just wanted to do this little video to kind of encourage someone. Hopefully encourage. If I encourage one person, then this video is worth it. I'm still working on answers for these. hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have some answers to some of them. Hopefully all of them. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll still be working on the same things next year. I don't know. But the fact is I want God to work in me this year. And I want change. I want my mindset to be changed. And I want my outlook to be changed. I don't want things that the enemy, and I've allowed the enemy to affect me in my past, to continue to keep affecting me the way they've affected me. I want to allow Christ to break every single chain this year. And so when I turn 47, I can be like, thank heaven I'm 47. You know? That's what I want in my life. So hopefully these questions have encouraged you, maybe got you thinking about some self-reflecting questions for yourself. If so, maybe you can join me. Make your own little list. Write them down, and let's work on our list together this year. And yeah, some things will be changing as far as like with my YouTube channel, possibly, you know, maybe, I don't know, not right away, because, you know, this is still past Melissa. You're seeing this in the future. So my house is still decorated for Christmas. So I'll still have those videos of tearing down Christmas, redecorating, all that stuff. Because it's what I do. I mean, you know. But I do want to hone in on like where I'm at in my season of life. What I do. And so, with that being said, I think this was a little over half an hour. I don't know. I can't see the timer on there because my old eyes, I can't see that far. But I'm going to wrap it up. I've got an appointment to go to. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you have been here for any amount of time and you are supporting my channel in any way, shape, or form, if you've hit a like, if you've hit subscribe, if you've commented, if you've prayed for me, even if you've just sat there and you thought, this girl's weird, and you've clicked off. You clicked on it at one point. So, thank you. Just thank you. From the bottom of my heart, it's been a wild, crazy ride that I'm actually impressed that I'm actually still on. That I've not just given up and thrown in the towel. I've thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, I've totally thought about it. Nobody cares about what you do, Melissa. Nobody cares if you scrub your sink, blah, blah, blah. But I kept going, and I'm still here. So we'll see what happens in 2025. And hopefully, Lord willing, you're still going to embark on this journey and this ride with me. And I can keep on going on. So until next time, Lord willing, friends, there'll be another one.